Whoa, again? Hey guys, Blood Moon Bobby here, and me and Gabby just did a discussion of the OK K.O crossover Nexus, and unfortunately, like one of the last times we had an internet discussion, the video came out super choppy, and it's because this time we had internet difficulties on both me and Gabby's end, so it's just going to be audio only. It'll just be a waveform, but you'll still hear us, you'll still hear our thoughts on this pretty cool crossover, so we hope you guys enjoy it. Please leave us your thoughts down below in the comments as we go along. And yeah, as I said, hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. Alrighty, so I guess we could finally talk about the OK K.O crossover Nexus.
It was
And
amazing.
yeah, and I think it's easy to tell, like, you really got into it. I thought it was cool. It was cool. It's
Okay, yeah, I know.
definitely
I'm exaggerating because it's so freaking cute. Okay,
mhm.
I love cute things, and it
Mhm.
was very cute. Like, okay, KO is such a freaking cute show. Of course, they're gonna get this right.
Yeah. I mean, on my end, this
Ah,
is this is a perfect example of me. I really should be judging this special for what it is rather than what I really wanted. So, but before,
oh,
I get into that. Do
uh
you think
huh.
maybe we should just go over what the episode's about? Like maybe you should be the one that kind of summarizes, what happens in the episode.
Okay, so basically, we get the story where this villain called what was the villain's name? I
Strike.
just remembered he was yes, Strike. He's basically going around trying to destroy heroes, right? And so he gets so bored, or like he goes through all the heroes that there are where he is, and is so desperate to keep doing what he's doing that he pulls in more heroes from other franchises, basically, or other
Mm-hmm.
realities, dimensions, what
Any
have you.
Cartoon
Oh wait,
Network show, basically any Cartoon Network
yeah,
show you can think of
yeah,
is turned to
and we
stone. Not
end up.
destroyed, but they're turned to stone.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, he puts the X.
Yeah, and they turn.
It's his definition of destroy. Everyone had. He's a villain. These things are complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So basically, he goes around turning him to stone. I mean, the destroy thing in quotes, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we mean here. And then getting that X. They get the X on their forehead, and that supposedly takes away their powers.
Mm-hmm.
So we have KO meet up with Garnet, uh, Ben Tennyson, and Raven, right?
Right.
And each one of them he meets, and their powers are taken away. You know,
Pretty much.
though I guess for Garnet, I don't really think it's a power.
It's
They
her.
just took
It's
away
her
her
glasses.
glasses,
Yeah.
so you get to see. I guess maybe that takes away her future vision too. So I guess we got to keep that in account.
Yeah, she did say that
Uh,
it took away her future vision. Although technically it
yeah.
wouldn't have taken away her ability to kick butt, right?
Um, no, I don't think so because I think she would probably still be able to use her gauntlets.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think she does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, but it isn't. It isn't until we see her the X remove because KO takes off the X like right then and there when he meets them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
And
Ben loses his freaking Omnitrix.
yeah, and now he's stuck in this form where he's got like 6 arms and he has like red skin, like this kind of
Yeah,
monstrous.
isn't that his name for the form too? Six
What?
six arms.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you could call me 6 arms. It's cool.
Yeah. Also, I thought it was hilarious how they kind of like purposefully drew him the way that they did.
What exactly do
I
you mean,
feel
like?
like it because when he comes out in that shot where it's like okay, Ben, let's go be heroes.
You
You know,
mean
and they're like,
okay,
yeah,
Ben, let's go universe.
yeah, okay, okay, Ben, let's go universe.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Or you're talking
these
where
things are
everybody.
complicated for my brain.
I know it's kind of hard for me to
Okay.
take into. And yeah, you're talking about the scene where everybody is like, holding up a 0, except for Garnet, who's of course, holding up 10, trying
Oh
to
no no
be.
no no! The part where they all say it together
Oh!
and they're doing like their action poses,
hmm
and Ben looks like a complete derp.
He's a complete derp throughout this special, to be honest.
Yeah, like the art style, but then in that shot, it's like the derp level is taken up to a 10, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, I would have to look at
Because
that
it just
again.
makes me think. It just makes me think of the people who were complaining about the changes in art style from the later iterations of Ben 10.
Mm, yeah, I mean,
And
there's a lot of
imagine if you saw that.
tongue-in-cheek kind of humor throughout this entire special. Like, I remember there's a part where when they're about to defeat Strike, um, Garnet literally said, "OK K.O, let's be heroes." Like she says the name of the show.
I know, and it's adorable. And I'm pretty sure she was aware of what she was doing too, because she's just freaking awesome like that. And
hmm
she's like a freaking mom to KO, and it's adorable.
Yeah,
And I need
I will
more of
say
it.
I do like probably one of the things I like most from the special was like the relationship between K.O and Garnet.
It's adorable. And then you
hmm
realize that Ruby's design is actually based off of KO.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was even
And,
confirmed,
and
right? Didn't wait? Was it Ian Jones Cordy that said? Didn't he admit it, or who was it? Somebody like admitted from Cartoon Network. Yeah, we based Ace KO's design off of Ruby from Steven Universe.
oh no, it's the other way around. Yeah, because I think Ian Jones Cordy already kind of had the idea of KO in the back burner behind like while he
Ah.
was working on Steven Universe.
mhm.
And him and Rebecca, and it is just oh, it's just too cute. Every time I
I
talk about
see.
it, it's just too much. Uh, but yeah, so basically, since it's the relationship between Ruby and Sapphire is kind of like a representation of her relationship with Ian Jones Cordy.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah. That he's Sapphire,
Mhm.
and Rebecca's birthstone is actually a Ruby because she's born in July.
Hmm. I see.
So basically, I guess they kind of like when designing the characters, they kind of like mixed in a little bit of Ian Jones Cordy's ideas for KO, and they came up
Mhm.
with Ruby, and she's so cute. And then you think about that, and then you see Garnet, and of course Garnet's gonna find it adorable and want to protect it, and it's just like, oh,
Now I see
my
why you
heart.
really got into the relationship. Like I saw it for what it is, and I thought, oh, it's really cool. And then you bring this up. I'm just like, oh, because we were saying that
Yeah.
humor is very tongue in cheek, and now it's like it's almost like a dream come true. I think for like a Steven Universe fan.
I know. And here's the thing. Apparently, I heard this from a video going over the Nexus crossover from the round table.
Mm-hmm.
And Ian was actually posting behind the scenes information. I don't remember where. I think it was Twitter.
I'll check.
I think. But basically, one of the things that was confirmed from that was that they wanted to include KO actually meeting Ruby and Sapphire.
Ah.
Yeah, and they even had this whole plan for a 22-minute special. But when
Mm-hmm.
they showed it, I think like whoever was in charge was like, "Nah, we'd rather see this in an 11-minute episode." So they had to cut out. They basically like had to go back to the drawing table from beginning and come up with something different, which is what we got, which was also absolutely freaking adorable, and I love it.
Yeah.
But we also, it would have been so freaking awesome to be able to see
Yeah,
And
that's the thing.
then,
I remember I didn't watch Johnson Hood Daypool's video. He also talked about the special. I didn't watch it yet, but I know his thumbnail. And I'm sorry, Johnson. I'll watch your video soon. When I talk to him sometimes on Twitter. He's a cartoon
oh,
reviewer, most
oh,
infamously known
cool.
for complaining about when Cartoon Network, keeps bashing us with Teen Titans Go, Powerpuff Girls, and the Ben 10 reboot. But like I remember the title of his video was as this is why 11 minutes doesn't work, like, 11-minute shows can work before a special like this. Yeah, it probably would have been
And
a lot better as a half-hour special, especially with
yes,
something this massive.
yes, I won't lie. It definitely would have worked 10 times better if they had more time.
Hmm.
And they wanted it that way.
Yeah.
Sadly it just didn't work out. And I think, that's the thing to keep in mind. It's like they were shooting for that, and that's why this
Hmm.
happened.
Yeah.
I mean, we should, but it's still great because we still got something out of it, like it could have just
Yes.
been completely, bashed, and we wouldn't
Hmm.
even see anything from it.
Yeah, I mean, I
But
can't
for
say I wouldn't. There's no way they could have made this like just awful, awful, awful. Like that's as much as I've said in the past, OK K.O is like an okay show to me. I'm just like, there's no way it could be like god awful per se.
Oh yeah, especially with the way they go around, mm, the tone, I guess, for
Hmm.
OK K.O. I think it's just very fitting for an episode like this.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of like that where KO just loves making new friends,
Hmm.
and he's like the adorable kid that just comes up to you and say hi.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
And
like
that
oh,
works
you're so awesome.
perfect.
What's your name? Hey.
Yeah, and then you're like, I know they're awesome, and you're right, KO, and you're gonna love them.
Hmm.
Ugh. Okay.
But yeah, but as an 11-minute like, I'm just thinking like the idea that throughout the special, most of the characters we see are Ben, Ko, Garnet, and Raven, while pretty much all the other Cartoon Network characters are just there to be saved. We don't even get to see much from them until even the very end. They're just like oh, we're free, and that was about it.
And not to mention all the ones that you get to see for like a second, even though it's like a freaking amazing dang scene.
Hmm.
It's just like, oh my god.
It's
It's
a
like,
good
I bet
Easter
if
egg hunt, I will say.
yes, yes, like, and there's like, okay, guys, there's this shot where Ben basically, I don't know if we should warn about spoilers, because
Eh,
I'm gonna make it.
there's gonna be
No,
a
you
spoiler
don't
alert
watch this if
graphic
you
in
don't
this
want
video.
spoilers, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I Okay, so he gets his Omnitrix back,
Mm-hmm.
and KO gives it back to him with the pen, which is the weapon that Strike has.
Yeah.
And it turns out that the Omnitrix can actually change Ben, at least for that time,
Mm-hmm.
or where he is at the moment, into any character from the Cartoon Network universe.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically goes through this shot where he's going through tons of different characters from all different kinds of shows,
Yep.
all Cartoon
Mordecai,
Network original.
Ed. There's some that
He's Uncle
character from
Grandpa,
yes,
whose
Uncle
voice actor
Grandpa.
was actually there.
Mm-hmm.
Double D. I saw Knuckles.
You did?
Heck yes, yes, I saw Knuckles.
Yeah, I remember there was just like just going through a ton of other
Oh yeah,
characters. Like I know there was at one point when he first tried it out. He accidentally turned into Jake
Mr.
from Adventure
J.
Time, and that what's
Yes.
his face from Mighty Magiswords.
Oh, Prohias. He's my favorite character
Mm.
from Mighty Magiswords. I love Prohias. He's
Mm-hmm.
actually, I think he's voiced by the creator of Mighty Magiswords too, which I think always adds a nice touch to it.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
is with a lot of other shows where it's supposed to be the creators. But yeah, and then yeah, I remember.
Flapjack. Wait.
Excuse you, yeah, yeah, but that's definitely really cool. Thing. They even like when in Ben was about to make that final punch. The tiles behind them were those kind of yellow, magenta, and blue Cartoon Network tiles, and even the theme was that that old dun 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 dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun.
dun, dun, dun. Or even
Yeah.
in one part, they do the new sound. I don't
Oh, I
remember
didn't
where,
notice
but
that.
Yeah, I don't remember where I heard it, but I just heard the new 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 new. But it's just like the tone. They don't say the thing. Or like on one of the walls, on the wall, behind where all the characters are turned to stone,
Mm-hmm.
you see graffitied on the wall, the Har Thursdays, and I'm like, my childhood.
Was that a reference to? I know what Cartoon Fridays is, but what was the
Yeah,
thing
but then
about
they had a
Thursday?
Har Thursdays where it's like, yeah, they had basically specials. And because, cartoons funny, they're like, Har Thursdays. Ha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Aw.
Nice
Took me back.
references.
And Chowder was so cute. I wanted to hug him.
I'm trying to. When did Chowder pop up?
He was one of the ones that got turned to stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he got unstoned, and he was just like so squishy and adorable. There's too many cute parts here, guys. I'm gonna be like this a lot today on this
Mm-hmm.
video.
Yeah. No, you have every right to, Gabby. And who could blame you? I mean, I remember because the city, the crossover Nexus. By the way, hey, for any of you guys who haven't seen the episode yet, did you figure out the pun? Because it didn't. It took me until the titles popped up to figure out why it's called crossover Nexus, which I won't say what the pun is, but it's just the thing is I remember the Cartoon Network, what they call the City era. That's where when they had the promos. I remember summer 2005. I still love listening
Yeah,
to
I
the theme
remember it.
song. That was when
Like
oh, go on.
the one I remember is like where they did the ones in the I think it was in like a laundromat.
Yeah, yeah, I remember there was a laundromat.
Those are funny.
Yeah, then there was
Oh.
the one that was Samurai Jack. But yeah, I definitely remember. That was
And
easily.
Johnny Bravo, and they were bros, and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of remembering what I remember. There was like a promo where Professor Utonium from the Powerpuff Girls couldn't get into his car, and then Ed was like oh, you should call for help, and he's just eating the food, and Mandy is like, hey, Brainiac, why didn't you just open the door? And it works. And then
Yeah,
number one
I remember
from
that one. It's like outside a grocery
yeah, the
store.
Mouth's grocery store. Yeah,
Yes.
it's that
Oh
era. Oh my god.
god.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, it was probably one of the first times. I was we were both kids. I was like 9 years old when that was out, and it was like the first time I saw, on TV the Cartoon Network characters like together in one universe. Which I started thinking, what if that was the same way with the Nickelodeon characters and the Disney XD characters? So it's just
Oh, that
the
would be
nice
freaking
catalyst to
cool.
get the gears turning.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it would be hard to beat though, just because like Cartoon Network made that work so
Mm-hmm.
well. I
Yeah.
think the one that I saw that got kind of close to that, and it was only like for a short while, and it was only like one, was when they did the little like scene with Marco and Star inside of the haunted mansion.
Yeah, but that's all. That's very that's all, like almost an unfair comparison to me. Like I know Haunted Mansion and
It
stuff.
would, but that's kind of like the closest I've even noticed anyone
Yeah,
get to that,
but I mean
which
talking
isn't
about
saying much.
like a place where let's say Star Marco met Dipper and Mabel from Gravity Falls, which I know that's like a crossover that I feel a lot of people would so want to happen. Like maybe the idea of one day, a I don't know. I'm pulling stuff out of my brain right now. Like Dipper Mabel, accidentally open up this portal and it takes them to Muni. You know.
Oh yeah, and then they have so many like old school characters to pull back out too. Like they already brought back DuckTales, so they can do a lot of people from DuckTales. Tailspin, Gummy Bears, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. There's just so much stuff to work with there. So I'm surprised they didn't. But
Yeah, but
ah,
we're just saying like I don't know what it is that works so well other than when we saw those commercials it was really fun and like I said the music of the Cartoon Network City era I still listen to that every now and then like even just for fun just because I miss it. Like I remember I got this DVD from like National Geographic for kids, when I was when I was a little kid, and it had this DVD with like episodes from Foster's, Hi Hi Puffy, Yumi, which yes, Yumi
Oh,
was one of the characters that got turned to stone, and my sister, was like, oh, and God, what else?
I
There's
hadn't
like,
seen her in forever, and it
mm-hmm.
was amazing.
Yeah, and then there was like a
Oh,
Juniper Lee episode and a Camp Lazlo episode. That was like the DVD that introduced me to Camp Lazlo. Who sadly, did you see
oh,
anybody from um Camp Lazlo in the special?
I can't distinctly remember. I remember Schnitzel.
Yes, I know. Like at the very end. So I'm just trying to think what else that we could say. I mean, only because it's a very like basic like team up good versus evil sort of story. Like even
Oh
if I were
yeah.
to say the sentence KO teams up with Ben, Garnet, and Raven, like we've been saying, to defeat each strike. That's basically the plot, and throw in some tongue-in-cheek humor, which I feel some people, because a lot of people got really angry with shows like Teen Titans Go and Powerpuff Girls 2016. It's like Cartoon Network doing tongue-in-cheek humor. Oh no! It's no, 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 no. In this case, it works to their advantage, and I know people were kind of nervous that oh no, Raven and Ben are gonna be characters, but but they were but they do their parts just fine. They're not annoying like in the reboots they come from. So just wanted to get that out there for people that were nervous about
And
that.
here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. And I say this time and time again. Just because it was used in something, well, I don't know if I've seen this, but I talk about this stuff all the time, especially regarding Teen Titans Go.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I am still and was even more before one of the people who was just like completely tired with Teen Titans Go.
Mm-hmm.
Just because something that didn't work used this kind of like writing or type of humor does not mean that the problem is the type of humor or the writing
Mm-hmm.
itself. It's how it's applied. Eh,
Exactly.
and there are good ways and there are bad ways, and this is a good way. So don't just throw it out of the question just because it happened here and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that was part of why they kind of did it. And if you know OK K.O, it fits really well because you have that balance of like the kind of like optimism, that kind of like really just kind of like, oh, everyone's friends, everyone's great, and blah blah blah, that you get especially when KO is around. And with somebody like Raven, you can't really have that, so of course she's going to be all like full of quips, which
Mm-hmm.
is freaking awesome. So yeah, of course that kind of stuff works. And with that kind of combination, the best way to mix everyone together is by kind of like well, yeah, like you said, the tongue-in-cheek humor, where it's just kind of like getting witty with stuff and like
Mm-hmm.
making comments and stuff. Because what are you doing? You're making inside jokes, because that's gonna be the main thing you can do, especially with the time they were given to take advantage of all these different cameos that they were able to fit in such a small amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean,
yes.
yeah, I mean, I think.
Also, for all you people who are still butthurt, there's like a scene where Raven brings out portals at the end, and it almost took her to the regular Teen Titans, and she actually almost gets scared and purposefully changes it back to Teen Titans Go.
Mm-hmm.
So take that as your favorite character, probably, or most people's favorite character from the show, is actually glad to be a part of Teen Titans Go. I we good.
I get what you're saying, Gabby. Although I'm sure there's
and
gonna
and
be
and,
some
and
out
here's
there
the
that are
thing
like,
here's the thing
"Bleh."
here's the thing I'm not trying to say that as in, oh, it's good, you guys are just being babies. No, there are legitimately parts that are not good,
Mm-hmm.
but don't be a butt about it, because it's just gonna make it funnier when people push your buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I think most of the people who were legitimately concerned have seen that it's not really a problem anymore, and you know, we all got the memo. It was supposed to be that way, and they know they're done with it, and they're gonna move on, and something awesome is gonna come anyway. But doesn't mean that this was completely, just like, how do I say, um, trash that shouldn't be brought up again,
Mm-hmm.
because there was still some pretty cool stuff in all. So just butthurt people, don't be butthurt.
Yeah, I mean, just because Raven and Ben are there, like, they definitely don't ruin it. Like, Ben could get kind of annoying, but I think it fits with the special, what they were going for. Like, it's more a special
Oh,
for,
definitely.
Cartoon Network fans of any age rather than just the super recent kind of people. If anything, OK K.O,
Yeah.
like, in my opinion, was probably the one show that convinced me, okay, Cartoon, they can move on from the terrible reboot era, because, OK K.O was coming right on the heels of shows that people really didn't like Teen Titans Go, Powerpuff Girls 2016, Ben 10, and Mighty Magisaurs, which, you like Mighty Magisaurs, and that's okay. I'm just saying, but it was like at a time when it was basically just those four shows, except for when Steven Universe did, come back every now and then for a new episode.
And I guess that's what I was saying. And I know everyone was talking about how, like, um they were worried that we're going to get back into some, like, horrible dark ages like we did with Seeing Real. And I said it, and then I think it's starting to come to fruition. Is that how you say it?
I mean, it's getting
Um
better, as you said. I mean,
no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And that this is what I meant. And obviously it's going to take time. Like, it's not going to happen overnight.
mm-hmm,
But I think you could at least say it's happening at least relatively sooner than most of us would have expected. Nobody could have called what happened with the Teen Titans Go movie. Nobody could have called the reaction that we were going to have with the Nexus episode. Um and I think people are almost forgot that we have Infinity Train, and oh oh god, I
Victor
really loved this
Valentino.
shirt. Victor and Valentino,
Which, by
yes,
the
we
was
have
Victor?
that
I
coming.
think I saw Valentino as one of the statues. Like, was that him? I think there was a
I
friend.
think it probably was, because
Yeah,
they also said that one was in there, turned to stone as well.
who's one?
The robot from Infinity Train.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is exactly what we meant when we said this is like an Easter egg kind of an episode. Because just like I'm hearing all about it, and just like where?
Yeah, and I didn't actually see it either. The thing was is that Ostrich Fox mentioned that it was supposed to be particularly pointed out in the original idea, and he was talking about how it would have really worked out, because then kids would have made the connection between one being in the Nexus crossover episode and OKKO to when Infinity Train comes out, and help as an even greater kind of like uh catalyst for interest in the show.
Mm,
So yeah, it's good. It's really good. I'm happy, very
mm-hmm.
happy.
Not
And
really sure if
yeah,
like Easter eggs
guys.
are the best way to do it, since Easter eggs aren't easily spotted. But I get
No,
what
no,
they're
no.
going
But
for.
that's why, like, the idea was to have him in a very like a very noticeable shot where it was
Mm-hmm.
like right there,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of like in the scene where you see Ben and Garnet and Raven and KO doing the power pose type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like that, but it was just basically like a close up shot where you saw them being turned to stone. So one would still be getting turned into stone, but you
Mm-hmm.
would be able to see it very distinctly in the kind of shot that they had in mind.
I see.
Uh-huh. Which is why Ostrich Fox was talking about how it would have worked really well for kids to be like, "Oh, look, it's a robot."
Yeah, I mean, I think it could have worked even better though. I mean, I'm really trying not to judge this as what if this was a half-hour special, but I mean, if we
Yeah.
saw, like, one, because you know how woman has this like tendency of like, saying, you might be walking into a fart or something like that.
It could be a fart card.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
like,
miss
it's
the fart car.
mm, yeah, it's just that the way the special is is for the most part, even when we do like see all the characters free, they're just like, whoa, I'm free, I'm no longer frozen, and then we see that one like wide
Oh,
shot of the
that would have
entire
been
thing.
hilarious. That would have been hilarious. It would. That's why I really enjoyed Raven too, 'cause she made a lot of snarky comments that were just hilarious too.
Hmm. Yeah, like I remember like when they introduced her, they were like Raven the magician, and she was like, excuse me.
And then they like go into detail. It was just like half demon. And it's like that's better.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like
So
when you have a very distinct title.
So I'm just trying to think, what else like is there
Or
to?
it was like or she also says it's like you can be the brains of the group as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. Or
Right.
hold on to my really strong legs, guys.
Mm-hmm. Which I know creeps some fans out.
No, it's because they have a whole thing in Teen Titans Go about that.
Yeah, I know, but I
It's
still
like a
remember.
running joke.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, who was the YouTuber that reviewed that episode, and they're just like, why are we focusing on Raven's legs?
Because it's hilarious.
Yeah, but some took it the wrong way, so I don't
Oh,
know. I can't
I
remember. I
know,
don't want to
because
misquote somebody right here, but I just remember that was kind of a thing.
oh yeah, yeah. I actually saw the episodes. It's like she has like the power of dance, and she tries to like teach the other Titans how to dance. And this one guy that gives them magic powers, and she tells them not to listen to the dang guy, and
Mm-hmm.
they listen to him. And she's like, "Why did you do this, you freaking idiots?" And she just uses her magnificent legs, and then she gets her powers taken, and she has to regain the dance, and she regains her beautiful legs, and everyone gets beautiful legs, and there's beautiful legs everywhere. I say beautiful, but they were just really muscly, almost scary, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and I think
And
five,
about
and I think five horrible fan fictions have been invoked because of the last 30 seconds.
this episode is rated 5 horrible fanfics out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay, so I'm just trying to think like what else. Like else is there to say? We talked about the
Um.
Easter eggs.
Oh, and the backgrounds. Did we talk enough about the backgrounds? Because the backgrounds were freaking tight.
Yeah, I mean, we established that it takes place in this kind of destroyed version of the Cartoon Network city.
Yeah, and I think the cool part is that there's even like a shot that the like this one shot where it's like you get to see the whole thing and you could just pick out all the different places and see what you
Yes, I
remember what
remember
you
I paused it, and me and my sister Penny, who I know I keep mentioning her in my videos, but she was the one who designed much of the logos you guys see in my videos, and we were just picking out like and they also added the newer shows to it. Like you can see the Adventure Time tree, the regular show park, and you of course could see the older shows like there's Townsville Hall and the codename Kids Next Door headquarters, and the city's littered with the NOODS, which you know
and then you see Marzipan City off in the distance.
what you saw what
Yeah, I saw Marzipan City
what's that?
from Chowder. Marzipan City.
Uh, yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of Chowder, but I honestly wouldn't be able to recognize it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else was there. I think you mentioned most of them.
Yeah, there was that.
At least
I
the
think
ones
there
that
was
I
like a
recognize.
lollipop shop that I remember in the older promos. The mayor from Powerpuff Girls goes there to get I'm not making this up, a pickled flavor lollipop.
Of course, it's the mayor. What other flavor would he get?
Mm-hmm.
Freaking disgusting, but okay.
Yes. I mean, I
I
guess
hate
I could say
pickles,
the
guy.
other
I
thing I
absolutely
want to
hate.
say is I'm trying to remember. Did OK K.O. came out when Cartoon Network was celebrating its 25th anniversary?
I know it was around the time. I wouldn't say if it came that close around with it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because I
Mm,
was about to say that I think that if okay, so if they couldn't make a 22-minute episode, they only had to do an 11-minute episode. I'm just thinking. In fact, I'm thinking of a scenario where they probably could have made a 22-minute episode if OK K.O. was out at the time. In that, what if this was like this was the episode that would have celebrated Cartoon Network's 25th anniversary. Like I know there was that promo that they put out showing all the Cartoon Network characters from the past and present, and you
oh
guys might have
yeah,
seen it.
yeah, I
But I'm just
remember
like,
that.
what if instead of that promo, it's just like we're celebrating our 25th anniversary, I guess. And I just made a nostalgia critic joke. Um, but what if instead of we got this episode, and whether it was 11 or 22 minutes, just the fact that it came out on the day of or even around the 25th anniversary, that in itself was enough to get people pumped up, because I remember there were a lot of people that were wondering what Cartoon Network was going to do for its 25th anniversary. And I think it was just business as usual. They just put out a promo to say, hey, this is our big, you know, quarter century celebration.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if that something like this had been in mind for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because from what I've seen, there's just been a lot of trouble in general, even like in pretty much most shows going on right now with time management. And there's all kinds of factors that have been pulled out as to why.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised to find out that this was intended for it. I'm not saying it is, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was, and just time getting it greenlit and everything just took too long to actually get it out in time. You know,
Yeah, that might
and
explain why they only made an 11-minute um
yeah,
episode,
and we had an episode making a different crossover before this.
which was the Captain Planet one, which I
No,
haven't
no, no.
seen
Even
them.
after that,
Oh,
remember I mentioned there was one where they brought in the girls from the Scooby Doo and Ghoul School movie.
yeah, you mentioned that, but I didn't. But unfortunately, I didn't get to see that.
Yeah,
So,
no, I didn't watch it either, but just by looking at like cuz I went on the Cartoon Network app, and they had this thing where it was like free episodes all weekend long. So
mm-hmm,
even right now, they have like all the episodes that are on the website. You can watch them for free on the website or on the
mm-hmm.
app. And right there, they tend to organize it in order. And right, like a few episodes before it, you got the Ghoul School episode, and I'm like, wait, what? What? Well, how does that come out before what?
Before we got crossover Nexus.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, that seems kind of fishy. I don't know if I'm just reading into it too much, but that's part of what gives me the idea. You know what? Maybe this was planned a long time ago and just wasn't able to really be made, especially not the way that it wasn't that they had originally planned to. Um, so yeah, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think especially with how people receive the Captain Planet, or more so the lack of response to it, that could have even made it harder, even harder to get the episode out, because they're like, well, nobody really was interested in this.
Yeah, I guess. Although something like crossover Nexus, it got me interested, and I haven't been following OKKO that much. Just the fact that you have a franchise which I like just fine. Is doing this entire crossover. Even if the Cartoon Network characters, not all of them, have a really big part. It's still gonna garner attention. It's the kind
Well,
of
yeah, but
thing.
we also, uh-huh.
And, it's the kind of thing where I feel like Velasquez Bum in '94 is gonna do a video just talking about the ratings of this episode. It's that
Oh
big of a
yeah.
deal.
And I think it's mainly a matter of just like, you never know how producers are going to interpret or like figure out or like imagine how things are going to go down for an idea. Like they
Mm-hmm.
work in mysterious ways, man. They may think this like super crummy and like weird idea will be like absolutely amazing and bring in a lot of money, and then be given this like amazing idea that's like perfect and given to them in the silver platter. They're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it happens all the time, but it's not unheard of.
Yeah. I mean, like, although in this case the special that would work to its disadvantage, but yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
exactly. So
find
I'm
like
I'm
the
thinking,
year that Cartoon Network is Wikia, like the Cartoon Network Wikia, I think says it launched in 1992's, and OK K.O launched in 2016. So technically, Crossover Nexus, if they started it early, it could have been a potentially one of the episodes in OK K.O.'s first season.
though I feel like it could have also felt rushed if they did it too early. We wouldn't have enough to back up or to like add to the characters' reactions to each other, because we would be thrown, especially KO, just like really really quick, and then suddenly we get this episode where he's meeting all the Cartoon Network characters. It's like, but what has he done so far in order to do that?
Yeah, that would be the other thing. I guess that would be the other thing that would just work to its disadvantage. And, as we always say in these kind of discussions, we'd rather have an episode come out later than coming out sooner and it's all rushed.
Yeah, or more than anything, just coming out. The main benefit here is that it came out. Period.
Hmm. And from what it was all right. Although,
Yes.
but if we're talking about fan experience, it was, kind of fun. I mean, I know you definitely had a blast.
Yeah, this is my deal, man. This is my cup of tea. I love for these because it warms my heart
Hmm.
so much. It's just oh my gosh. It's also why I love OKKO, because OKKO is pretty much about that. Good feelings and optimism and initiative.
Right.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm not gonna say that that everything and anything they do is right, obviously, because that's kind of impossible, but at least for me, I really enjoyed it, and it makes me feel really good because of the way that they write it, and I'm like, thank you, I needed this.
Right. Yeah, and as for me, it was definitely like, as a way of getting, that sense of nostalgia. Like I said, the City era is easily one of my favorite Cartoon Network eras. Like I said many times throughout this video, I even listened to the song of the City era, even like, now and then, just because, it was, fun to watch. So as a nostalgia trip, it was actually, kind of cool. It's just as an episode,
Oh
I
yeah.
probably would have liked it better if it was that 22 minute. But just, hearing that that's what they wanted, but unfortunately Cartoon Network's like, nah, we can't do that, which may spill into their whole, 15 minute that 11 minute episode philosophy that Johnson Hood Daypole seems to really like so much, and by that he really, really hates that. But I kind of have to disagree with Johnson. Some shows can work okay, or even spectacularly as 11 minute, like 2 11 episodes in one. It's just a matter of, can it be, is it paced well and does it get the point across and it doesn't feel rushed?
And here's the thing, from hearing how it went down, it sounded more like they were low-key trying to say we like it but we don't like it. So in order to make it something different, they just kind of gave them something that wouldn't let them do it, where it's just kind of like, okay, you know what? Try to do it with 11 minutes.
Yeah, but in that case, that kind of sounds like that should have been that would make a great like Cartoon Network 25th anniversary kind of a thing. But as an
Yeah,
episode,
which would have been a great thing, because it'd be like, okay, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary. You know what? Yeah, of course. You know what? Let's do it 22 minutes. But
yeah,
it didn't. And yeah, and again, it's just like executives and producers just kind of like.
It's just like we want to have those commercials. I mean, that's a big part of why. Like when I do see Cartoon Network ads, they'll say, new episode of. Well, this is back when regular show was coming up. New episode at 8:15 p.m. this coming like Saturday. Like that's why we got those, right? So I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, they want more commercial breaks, so it was so sure. Or why not? I mean, that's really the only explanation I have with the whole 11-minute, kind of controversy. It's like, I mean,
Well,
for
it's
us,
more insight than I kind of had on it. I'm just like,
yeah.
I'll admit I feel a little butthurt about that.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit it's partially me just not being happy with it being that way. But
Mm-hmm.
there's obviously
Yeah,
going to
but
be
I
a
mean,
reason for it.
what can you do? I mean, like I said,
Exactly.
I really just wanted to judge this special as is, and as is, it works well. Like that's the other thing I'll give OK K.O. You know, over some recent Cartoon Network shows, like especially Powerpuff Girls reboot, is even though OK K.O. is 11 minutes, it is paced well. Like for those people who were worried, because that was like an issue I had with not OK, but I had that kind of issue with Powerpuff Girls 2016 and Mighty Magic Swords, where it just went like way too fast for my taste. But
Yeah, because this is okay. Let's look at it. Well, Powerpuff Girls reboot was an attempt at nostalgia gone wrong for the most part.
yes, very wrong.
So, and then you look at Mighty Magiswords. Mighty Magiswords is just kind of like, woo, kids, let's have fun. And, obviously, kids are going to get pumped about like high energy, fast paced
Mm-hmm.
stuff. It doesn't necessarily make it bad, but I'd be lying if I said it made it, if it didn't make it hard for like people to watch, especially those who are used to kind of like more fleshed out stories, because you're not going to get a fleshed out story with a
Mm-hmm.
really, 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 really
No,
fast pace.
and in that kind of a case, as long as it's entertaining and it leaves me on the edge of my seat, or even just having a ball like with what Crossover Nexus did, then it can be 11 minutes. It can be fast paced. Even though I don't know if I'd say Crossover Nexus was fast paced per se. Like I would say it was. You know what I'm saying?
It was kind of like in the middle for me,
Yeah,
because it's
definitely.
definitely not at the level of Mighty Magiswords. I'll give you that.
Mhm.
Mighty Magiswords, I love it, but it is freaking wired.
Mhm.
I mean, that's part of why I love it, because I don't know, if you know me, my brain is just kind of always like that. So it's like,
Mhm.
whoa, let's do this. But
Yeah.
you get more of like other people who are kind of just like in it for the story. It's like, whoa, man, chill. Let's figure out what's going on. It's like, no, let's go down to the next scene. Have more
Mhm.
fun. Silver Nexus was kind of like, I feel like in the middle where it's like enough, like still follow it, and then a little more fleshed out, just so for the sake of like, what, if there's a parent watching this, and or like some older sibling or something, and they kind of want to enjoy everything that's going on, they can do that too, and we'll
Mhm.
throw in all the awesome stuff that they enjoyed when they were when they were at the age, and you know what, I think it's going to be awesome, which
Yeah.
which I think for the most part it was. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, especially if
Yeah.
they
Plus,
have a
oh, sorry.
yeah, especially well, you were kind of going into that, especially if they have like some kind of past with Cartoon Network. I mean, like I said, my sister isn't really into OKKO, but she was still down to watch. I mean, when I told her I was watching it, she was kind of, and I asked her, "Hey, you should come see it," and she was like, "Okay." And by the end, she was like, "Oh, this is so amazing."
I was one of those people who was like, "Oh, this is so freaking cute! I'm so pumped!" And I actually got stuck on it, and everyone was just kind of like, "Oh, I never got to it." I'm like, "What are you doing with your life?" Of course, obviously, I'm not gonna say that completely sincerely. It's just me being silly, but it's just kind of like, man, I love this show. Why aren't more people watching it? And then
Mhm.
it's like, oh, I'm enjoying the cuteness mostly. That's fine.
Yeah. It is definitely a little like at least a show where I could see people putting on just to see oh I just need something to do it's that kind of a show. Albeit when I look at Cartoon Network schedule, it's still mainly Teen Titans Go and Gumball, right?
Yeah. Though I feel like they're starting to ease up. I don't know if it's mainly just because I haven't been on it as often. There was a short while where I was watching it like on cable. For the most part, I started watching it on the app. But
Mm-hmm.
after a while, I did start noticing here and there that they started like mixing it up a bit more. I think especially with how they saw that younger audiences were receiving OK K.O. I think OK K.O. got a little more space given to it. I'm not gonna say a lot. Um, We Bear Bears has actually become kind of popular with the younger ones, which I was really surprised about. Like, I have a niece who is whose mom, my cousin, came up to me being like, "Oh, she loves Pan Pan. Do you know where you can get like a stuffed animal or something?" I'm like, what the heck? So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I think they're realizing that there is a fan base. There are fan bases building up in different shows that they can take advantage of, besides freaking Teen Titans Go
Mm-hmm.
and Gumball, which has a really. I'm gonna say Gumball does probably deserve the amount of space that it does have to an extent.
Yeah, to an extent. I'm just
It's
not like
great. It's a
and I
great
like
show.
Gumball too. My sister shows me Gumball every once in a while. It's honestly a show that I really feel I should be talking about, especially since it sounds like it's coming to its end. But it is definitely a show. I just don't like oversaturation in general. Like if Disney XD tried to pull the same thing with
Yeah.
Star,
That's
I
the
would just
thing. Like the problem isn't even necessarily anymore that it's like oh they're not even picking good shows. It's more
mm-hmm,
like okay we get it. Can we do something else now,
mm-hmm.
please?
Yeah. I mean, it's like eating the same food all over again, like having, the same, dish every single night for the rest of your life. Okay, maybe not for the rest of your life, but you get
And then
that
like
kind of
throwing a
dreariness.
tiny thing here and there. It's like yeah, I mix it up. Yeah, you do. You're right.
Yeah, but just barely.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, Nexus crossover was awesome, guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, crossover Nexus, but yeah, it was definitely,
Did I
like,
say
even
it? Did
if,
I say it backwards?
yeah, it
I
was
don't know.
cross,
Yeah, I
yeah, it's
flip
supposed to be
stuff a
crossover
lot,
Nexus.
guys.
But yeah, I would say
Crossover
even
Nexus.
if
Let's
like
go.
for the people watching, even if you're not like an OK K.O fan, you'll get a jump that jolts of nostalgia when you watch it, especially if you like to see Easter eggs. There's plenty to go around. Like for people watching, if you're a Cartoon Network fan of pretty much any time the Cartoon Network's been around, you'll have reasons to pause, every so often to say, oh, I remember that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Whoa, sorry about that abrupt ending. So yeah, unfortunately, Gabby cut off at the very end of the conversation. So we're gonna end it here. We basically both thought the special was amazing. Gabby clearly had a really good time. I thought it was an episode overall. It was good. It was well paced. It was fun. Definitely could have benefited from being a half-hour special, but for what we got, it was definitely a really exciting special. There's definitely a lot of Easter eggs for you guys to check out. So please leave us your thoughts down below. Did you like this episode? Are you a fan of OK K.O. or Steven Universe or Teen Titans Go or Ben 10, the reboot, or even the original series? Which ones do you think are the better ones to watch? Please leave us all those thoughts down below. If you have any ideas for any cartoon episodes we can do a discussion on in the future, please leave them below in the comments, or you can also email me. My email address is in the description of this video. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you all later. Hey guys, be sure to like this Blood Moon Bobby video if you enjoyed it. Please share this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. Be sure to ring the notification bell to be notified about my latest upload. Follow me on my social media pages at Blood Moon Bobby to find out about what I'll be covering next and for more of my opinions. Thanks for watching.